we have a major Hawks update. Sources from inside of the Hawks front offices are showing that, yes, change is imminent. Of course, with the firing of Landry Fields earlier this season, or earlier this year at the conclusion of this season, the Atlanta Hawks are now in the situation where they have to choose from a host of different names and different people that we do know from the past and possible other people that could be in the situation or in the runnings for president of basketball operations. But before we get into all of the rigmarole, all the names and whatnot, let's go ahead and christen the show. What's going on, everybody? My name is Walter Pollard, and this is Atlanta Hawks Digest. Make sure that you guys continue to watch us, follow us, hit us up on all of our platforms. Of course, we're definitely here on the YouTube, so definitely keep hitting the like, share, and subscribe button. Please keep the conversations going. I do appreciate you guys, having good conversation with us, banter back and forth, and just breaking down all of the different things that are going on with the Atlanta Hawks. Of course, if you guys have not hit the like, share, subscribe, if you hadn't hit the subscribe button, definitely join the other 36% of us that are viewing this content consistently. Definitely join by hitting the like, share, and subscribe button. Send it to as many people as you can, and we'll definitely keep churning out as much content as we can, man. Of course, myself, Chris Tipmore, and also just the people over at Digest Media. We definitely appreciate it. But let's go ahead and just jump right into it. Now, this is the list of different names that the Atlanta Hawks are linked to looking at as far as president of basketball operations. Now, remember, Landry Fields, of course, he was the general manager and the president of basketball operations. Of course, now Ansi Salah, he's in the general manager position, but now the Atlanta Hawks are looking to try to get someone in for the president of basketball operations. I'm having to get these names correct. Anyway, but yeah, these are the list of guys that I've already mentioned. Of course, I've mentioned Elton Brand, who is the current Philadelphia 76er general manager, Monty McClair of the Sacramento Kings, Calvin Booth, Danny Ferry. Of course, we all remember Danny Ferry. I think he had one time had ties with the Atlanta Hawks, as well as Sharif Abdul-Rahim, who had one time played with the Atlanta Hawks. I want to say like in the late 90s or, early 2000s or whatnot. But this is the list of guys. And of course, I've brought up the fact that the Atlanta Hawks were aggressively looking to try to bring in Elton Brand and bringing him into the Atlanta Hawks. Bringing him in as the president of basketball operations. Of course, I've gotten mixed reviews or mixed messages from different people. Some saying that they didn't want Elton Brand, and some of you did say that, he wouldn't be a bad fit, be that he was a Duke guy. It would make sense for him to come to Atlanta. But that's besides the point. Mainly because Elton Brand has definitely said that he is going to be staying with the Philadelphia 76ers. He said that he is not going to be joining the Atlanta Hawks. Unfortunately for the Atlanta Hawks, their search definitely continues on. Now, he also did report to Bleacher Report, and he basically said that he wants to focus on his time with the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, let's not forget, the 76ers did have a disappointing year as well as the Atlanta Hawks. They, of course, churned out a 24-58 record, and mainly that was because a lot of their stars, their superstars, or if you want to call them that, Tyrese Maxey, Paul George, Joel Embiid, those guys were, of course, injured for a good majority of the season. And, of course, I've always said the best ability that anybody or any player could possess is availability. And that is something that the Philadelphia 76ers did not have this season. So, of course, Elton Brand is staying to focus primarily on the Philadelphia 76ers. He says that he wants to continue his work with the Philadelphia 76ers, turning down the Atlanta Hawks. And that's how that goes. Now, of course, in a graphic per multiple league sources, the Atlanta Hawks are casting a very wide net. Again, I showed you guys the list of the people that the Atlanta Hawks are interested in bringing in. Team president, for a team president. Now, one name is very familiar with the Atlanta Hawks, former GM Danny Ferry. Of course, Danny Ferry, he is linked with the San Antonio Spurs, but he will interview for the job along with Monty McNair, Calvin Booth, and Sharif Abdul-Rahim. And I mentioned those guys once before, mainly because, you know, this is something that the Atlanta Hawks are definitely working to try to make some type of changes. This is something that is going to be headed in the right direction. And again, with the draft coming up next month, I do feel as though it is time that they kind of ramp up the action and get it going now, so that there isn't a lot that they have to get accustomed to or try to figure out. They already know who they're going to go after and what they're going to do with that pick. We're not sure if we're going to get the pick. Of course, next week we do realize that the draft lottery does take place. And of course, if the Sacramento Kings draft pick falls inside of the top 4, we lose that pick. So we definitely would like to see some of these things happen sooner than later. Again, this is the list, and I'll go back to it really quickly. But this is the list again: Elton Brand, Monte McNair, Calvin Booth, Danny Ferry, who is currently with the San Antonio Spurs right now, and then Sharif Abdul-Rahim, who is currently with the NBA G League as league president. So you guys let me know in the comments, who would you like to see as not a general manager, but as a president. Let me get that right. A president of player operations. Obviously, they're going to be dealing with the day-to-day, picking who's going to be coming onto the team, how those guys fit with the rest of the team, and how they could fit with Trae Young and the rest of the group. So this is a very, very important pick for the Atlanta Hawks. This is a very, very important decision that definitely needs to go on very fast so that we can get ready for the draft and what we can do for the next coming season. Again, a lot of you guys are kind of worried about whether or not Trae Young is going to stay with the Hawks or if he's going to choose to leave. This is one of those key pieces. I think if they could solidify the front office and they get into one cohesive understanding that they want to make sure Trae Young stays with the Atlanta Hawks and that they can get the right people around him in order to get back to the Eastern Conference Finals and hopefully an NBA Finals. Like I said, this is a lot going on right now, a lot to process. So definitely, you guys let me know in the comments how you guys feel about the situation right now, where we're headed, and how these things are going to happen. My name is Walter Pollard. This is Atlanta Hawks Digest. Of course, myself, Chris Tipmore, all the folks at Digest Media, we are definitely here to give you guys as much content as we possibly can. We're definitely going to be here for every step of the way. Like I always say, guys, I'm headed out. Peace.